Chapter 1. The Rider in the Sky. She lay on the cold, damp stones of the lane, staring up at the sky in agonizing defeat. At just 12 years old, Tija already felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. The air was crisp, and the wind sang through the leaves, carrying with it a scent of wet earth and burning wood. Tija shivered, feeling the cold seep through her thin clothes and into her bones. The stones felt hard and unforgiving beneath her body, rough against her skin. Rolling to her side, she hugged her knees to her chest, wishing she could conjure even a tiny flame to warm herself. But she couldn't. Despite her efforts, her ka, the measure of her magic and soul, remained dormant. She was an anomaly, an outcast in a society that revered magic. Everyone ridiculed her for her inability to cast spells, and even her family looked down on her. To make matters worse, Tija had experienced a traumatic incident that left her with burns covering a significant portion of her right arm. This was the night she lost her sister, Melanie. Though Tija had lost her memories of that night, she was told that Melanie had saved her from the fire, sacrificing her own life in the process. Melanie was considered a hero, but Tija was blamed for her death by her family and treated like a failure, constantly reminded that she needed to live not just for herself, but also for Melanie. Tija was tired of it. After Melanie died, everyone started treating Tija like a stranger, or worse, like a beast that prowled outside of the walls of the village. They treated her differently, and so she became different. She stopped listening to the boys when they teased her, started ignoring her teachers when they scolded her, and stood up to her father when he threatened to beat her. Lying on the cold stone of the street, the anger in her soul roiled like a turbulent sea. She could feel her eyes swelling and her side throbbing, the result of a brutal beating from the local kids. She gritted her teeth, feeling the heat of her anger rise. She longed to lash out at her tormentors, to summon the power to blast them away with a flick of her wrist. But she couldn't. It was a cruel fate, and one that left her feeling helpless and alone. As Tija lay there, a drake appeared in the sky, low over the village. The sound of its wings echoed through the air, and Tija looked up in wonder. She could imagine the feel of the wind from the drake's wings brushing against her face, and the sound was so loud that it drowned out everything else around her. It was rare to see a drake so far down the mountains, their natural habitat, and Tija was intrigued. Squinting, she realized it was more than just a drake. It was a riding drake. Someone important was coming to visit New Hope. Who could it be?